Today, I have given you a poem titled Fog by Carl Sandburg, and we are going to take it through 5 levels of close reading. The first level that you'll see up here is the word level. We're going to start off with a simple level and progress through and get to a much more complex level. Second level that we will do is summarizing, which is illustrating the meaning. So kind of an impulsive reaction to the poem. The third task that we'll do will be analyze the text, make any assumptions or inferences that we have. The fourth level will be more of an evaluative stage, putting relevance and significance behind the text. And then the last task that we will do, which will be more complex, will be determining the author's perspective, becoming empathetic with the author, and thinking the way the author might think. So, first of all, what we're going to do is look at the word level of poetry that you have in front of you. So if you can take your poem, some of you have it flipped upside down. We are going to read the poem a few times until you feel the rhythm. Rhythm in a poem would be like finding the pattern, the movement of the words. Because if you just took each one of these words, what did I count, 21 the other day?
Yeah.
If you took each one of these out and separated them, they're just words. But when you put it into poetry and you put it into phrases, it becomes a rhythm. So while you're reading today, the few times that you're going to read it, find that rhythm. Because once you start to find the rhythm, you'll start getting into the meaning of the poem. And while you're doing this, with your pencil, I would like for you to underline any words that may confuse you. You may not know the meaning of. You may not know the word. So as you're reading, underline anything that confuses you. And read it as many times as you need to. One time probably isn't sufficient. Read it several times so you feel that rhythm. Go ahead. Poem on the chart paper, I underlined a few things. I underlined the word fog. I also underlined little cat feet. I didn't underline those because I didn't know what the words were. In fact, I knew what all the words were. In this text, the way that it's written, it confused me about what it was really meaning. So that's why I underlined it. I also underlined the word it because I'm a little unsure right now what it is. How many of you would agree you don't know what it is? Those of you that feel like you do know what it is, that might change in the next few days. Because as we find that deeper meaning, you might decide that, you know what, I feel like it might be something different. And then I also underlined the word haunches, which a lot of you also underlined. And then the last I underlined, then moves on. Okay, right now I would like for you to read the poem one more time. This may be like the 10th time you've read it, but it's okay. want you to think about the poem. I want you to do a quick write, just in the margin. And when I say margin, this would be the margin. This would be the margin. What you think this poem is about. So this is your impulsive reaction, just your gut feeling about what this is about.
What I wrote on my paper was I thought that when it said it sits looking over the harbor, I thought that it meant like the fog, and I think it's about the fog that like goes everywhere, like on the harbor and city and the haunches, and I think it's just about the fog.
So you think it's mostly about fog? Would that be
Yeah.
what you're thinking? Okay. I'm just going to put that over here to the side. Anybody have anything a little bit different? Because I know a lot of you are feeling like this is about fog. If you have a different thought, other than fog, let's hear from you. Let's hear from a boy.
I think that it's about fog coming onto Cat's feet, and the cat is looking over Hardcore City and hunches its back and moves on silently.
Okay, so you feel like it's about a cat who has fog on its feet and the way it responds to the fog. It has fog on its feet and responds to the fog. And the way it responds to the fog is what I should have said. Okay, let's go with another girl. Right here.
I think it was kind of like informational, like it kind of talked about fog, like, because in real life fog does go everywhere and it comes down low, and when it moves on, it's kind of like taking a different course in nature, like going on to a different place.
So you're feeling like it's informing about fog.
Yeah, but putting it into poetry,
But putting
which I
it,
think is really cool.
so putting that rhythm behind it. Is it okay if I just keep that right here?
Yeah.
Fog and maybe putting it into poetry. Guys are really deep.
I think that, like, the cat is like, you know how fog comes down, that the fog, like, made, like,
Okay, so the fog has taken the formation of a cat.
I think this poem's about the pads of the cat's feet and how they walk. The cat walks on it every day, and how it sheds, but the cat keeps on moving on. It doesn't just like wait for the shed. It just keeps on moving on.
Have you repeat that one more time?
How the cat walks on the pads every day, and when it sheds, it doesn't just like sit there and wait to grow it back, so it keeps on moving on.
Now I'm going to take you one step further. What's making you think like that? Because you're thinking differently than everybody that's raised their hands. You're thinking more about a cat and the way it moves down a path. Is that right? Why are you thinking that way?
Because they might be just using fog as an example. It couldn't be just fog. It could be really something low, I'm thinking.
Okay. One last thing before I go. Oh, I'm going to share this time. Is it possible that this author of this poem is wanting us to think about fog in a completely different way? That it's not even fog. That fog isn't fog in this poem. Is that possible? Just nod your head, yes or no. Is it possible that fog represents something else? Is it possible that little cat feet represents something else? Now we're getting deep, aren't we? I told you we were going to start out simple with the word level and then our impulsive reaction. And when I come back, we're going to really analyze this text and analyze these words to see what that deeper meaning is. Because there is a much deeper meaning.